It's getting untidy in here again. Today we're going to fix that, and we've also got quite a few new sets to add to the city. So welcome back to the Brick Prize Draws studio, which as you can see is a little bit of a mess, but we do have things to add to it. We've got the town hall modular that still isn't finished. In fact, I need to order the parts for that. That's one of the first jobs. Order the parts that I need to finish that off. If you want to know why it's not finished, I made a video a couple of days ago. Go and watch that. And if you want to get your hands on one of those, Brick Prize Draws, sponsors of the studio, actually have a prize draw for the town hall going on right now, where you can get a brand new inbox complete one and not have all of the nonsense hassle that I had. So the link to that is at the top of the description below. Go check that out. But we've also got the new Lego City train station that we built during the last Lego City update. That needs adding into the city. I've also got another box of goodies over here, which is stuff we've built on stream recently. We've got a little supermarket food truck. We've got the new Lego City police boat, complete with shark. And we also have Lilo and Stitch's house, complete with back. I've done a rebrickable from Brick Artisan to add a back enclosure. When I add that, I'll show you that in a little bit more detail as well. I also plan to get rid of the cardboard. I think we can all agree it's a nonsense. So the cardboard is going to go. As part of the double points weekend, I did actually do a couple of pick-a-brick orders with Lego. One to give me enough brick to hopefully at least wall this front section. We're going to have to do it in phases. It cost, strangely, both orders were exactly £135, which was the gift with purchase threshold. I don't know how that happened, but I think we should have enough to get most of the way across this bottom area that's covered in cardboard at the moment. And then we'll just, every now and again, when we can afford to place an order, we'll just do it in stages and do that with brick. I have a much more economical way of doing it as well, which is completely stolen from Mr. Bookie Boo here on YouTube. I've been watching his videos about his retaining walls. He is the king of the retaining wall, and I'm taking some inspiration from how he does his, which look as good as mine, if not better. I mean, this was the one that I came up with, but it's very, very parts intensive. He has something that ends up looking almost exactly the same, but uses far fewer parts. So should be a little bit more economical. So that's, we've got the parts on the way for those. We also, the other parts order that we did was for as many of these as I could order, so that we can continue filling in all of the pavement areas and get on with the detailing. All of the modulars need the detailing, and that's it. It's not a job that's going to get done today, but it's a job that will be done, or will be started again once we have some more of these tiles. Again, I don't think we've got enough of those ordered to do the whole city. You can only do 1,000 per, or 999 pieces per order. So we'd probably need more than that, but that's going to be a job that needs doing. And then the other thing that I want to do, if we can get around to it today, is I want to start tackling this, because we are getting to the point now where the bit of the city that's there, aside from needing a little bit of detailing on pavements and walls, but modular placement, certainly for now, is becoming quite settled. And I think we can start getting the minifigures and the vehicles back in. And a lot of that is over here. I've just realised as I'm saying this, I've left my friend's minifigures that go with the sit complex at home again. So we'll get that worked on. And then I also, and I've been keeping this one a secret, I did sneak through one last double points order as part of the double points weekend last week. I did get Diagon Alley after all. Don't tell Anna. But Diagon Alley is on its way. It's not here yet because it's on back order, but I need to start thinking in terms of where is Diagon Alley going to go. I'm thinking we want that. Probably going to get Gringotts at some point as well. And I'm thinking maybe over here, and potentially we'll have to hack out a piece of wood or adjust the heights of some of the platforms. But I'm thinking somewhere over in this corner, we could move the residential area maybe down to here. We've only got one house in there at the moment. It's also Harry Potter themed. So it's going to be like half residential, half Harry Potter. Don't make me change the Lion Knight's castle on Castle Hill to a Hogwarts castle. That isn't going to happen. But I am thinking if we had Diagon Alley maybe across there, we could have the upper part of Gringotts either here or on here. And then the underneath bit underneath, which there's not enough of a gap there at the moment. But like I say, we could potentially adjust that to allow us to have Gringotts underneath and still visible, potentially, or with like something like this with some holes in maybe, so you can see the bit that's underneath. Maybe a cliff face that's broken, that just lets you see that there is the downstairs and Gringotts in there, and then you have the upstairs above. I'm making all these plans. I haven't even ordered Gringotts yet. That's another £300 set, but yeah, I really like the idea of having Diagon Alley in. I think it's actually really good value, less than £400 for effectively 4 modular-sized buildings. I will look to put backs on them eventually and fully modularise them, but for now, they're going to be against a wall anyway. I don't think it really matters that they're open-backed if they're against a wall. So, lots to do. Let's crack on. First job is order the parts I need for this before I add it to the city, because once it's added, I'll forget what I need and it'll never get done and it'll be forever unfinished and I'll be very sad. That's not something you need to see a time lapse for. I'm just going to do that on my laptop now. Right, I've just gone through and searched through the entire set. By my reckoning, there's 15 pieces that we still need. All of these were missing. So I guess let's see how much they'll come to. We're just going to do an easy buy initially, and in fact we could have done buy all. I have a few wish lists, but let's see if we can get them all from one store, which is probably a big ask. So 15 unique parts, 35 pieces total, and we can get them all from one store, but that one store is in Australia. Let's just see if there is a UK option. Buy all. Yes, we want United Kingdom. Go on, see what you can do. I don't mind if it's below the minimum price. See, we can do it across 2 UK stores, which is probably the more sensible and cheaper way to do it. So we will get those, and hopefully within a week or so we'll finally have a finished town hall in the city, particularly at the top there where it's just right. I'll get these ordered, then we'll get this placed. Well, once we took into account postage and packing, that's cost about another £15. I reckon the total cost of this town hall modular probably closing in on £450 now with all the additional orders we've had to do and taking into account the cost of the mills plate. And it's important to bear in mind that's with no minifigures as well. If we wanted to get the minifigures, that's going to be another significant chunk of money to outlay. So we're not going to get the minifigures, but it does make me wonder, and I said this in the main video, you can pick this up used and theoretically 100% complete in a box with instructions with the minifigures on eBay for about the price I've paid to build it. Now, yes, I've got the advantage that the majority of it is brand new bricks, but it's also no minifigures and it's a modified version of the original. So it's not even a town hall anyway. It's a mock that looks like a town hall, but like there are important differences from the original. So I've had a few days to mull it over and calm down, and I think I have decided no more piecing out the sets. I don't mind buying them used. I don't mind having to clean the sets. I love my fire brigade. We're not buying loads of individual pieces anymore for modulars. Obviously, we're still going to do rebrickables for other stuff. But let's get some Lego placed in the city. That's what we're all here for, boys and girls. Right, we've made some progress. So we've got Town Hall in, temporarily placed. I actually think that might be the permanent place for Town Hall, and we might move some of the stuff around it, because I like the idea of having the biggest, tallest of the modulars kind of central in the city. And once we've expanded down there, that will be kind of central as like a centerpiece. But I don't think we want 2 towers next to each other. Plus, Sit Complex is going to have 3 more floors added onto it in the relatively near future as well. So I don't want it to be... I don't think it's as impressive with those 2 buildings either side of it. So I think Town Hall will probably stay there, but we'll end up moving the Sit Complex and the Fire Brigade. But I'm not sure where to yet. That's a job for another day. What I have done is I've moved the Spider-Man bodega down here, which that could potentially be a spot for the Fire Brigade, because that now kind of towers over the Lego store, and with the new Peter Parker apartment on the way as well, which might end up going on top of this, or it might go next to it. I'm not sure how it's going to work. Yeah, that might be too high and kind of blocks the tram going past behind it as well, which I actually quite like. We might leave that there. Let me know your thoughts on that. It might be the Lego store that moves. But the reason I've moved that down there is because it was in this corner here next to the police station, and I've temporarily put the new Lego City station in there. Obviously, it's not on a mills plate and it's not put in properly at all. It's just been plonked on some base plates. I've had to pull the road plate out that was in there, so we'd need to detail off the road and make this a a turn rather than a junction, and then have maybe a little bit of a pedestrian area in that corner around where the train station is. But I like the fact that we've got the platforms on either side. It looks a bit tram station-y. I think it is quite cool, fits in quite nice there. We might end up moving it forward ever so slightly once we get it on a proper plate as well. And then that corner, which was going to be a construction site, could end up being more of like a pedestrian area, maybe somewhere to put my food trucks. So we'll toy with that. I still need to definitely sort out these weird corners that I've got on these roads. That's probably going to be a job for another day though, because everything is taking me longer than I thought it would. I dropped the Spider-Man bodega as I was moving it, so I had to rebuild that a little bit. We've got a whole issue with the legs under there and these two tabletops being uneven. That I'm going to have to deal with at some point as well. And had to climb on the tables to move them. So everything's taking a little bit longer than planned, and I still have stuff in this box. So let's pull this stuff out of this box. Food trucks, we know what we can do with food trucks, and I think actually, well, that's gone forever. But we do have this little allotment, which I guess the allotment makes sense being down in the residential area. So we'll move that down there and maybe take the grocery store truck down there as well. And it can be doing a delivery to the house that's down there. And then we've got the new police speedboat and all the stuff connected to that, which realistically, until we've got some sea, is probably going to go in the dumping ground over there, which I don't want to be a dumping ground anymore. We are going to move some of that stuff in a minute. But what I really wanted to show you was the amendment to the Lilo and Stitch house, which looks like it's fallen apart a little bit in transit. So I'm just going to fix it and then we'll show you it. One thing I have just realised is Stitch on his little spaceship hasn't made the trip. He must still be in the Lego room. He obviously wasn't on the set at home, but that's the set as it comes out of the box. You just have the front half of the building and then it's open backed. So this bit is all new. This is what you have on the main set, but this is the rebrickable from Brick Artisan, which as you can see, it hinges on just there. It was only a few hundred pieces. I don't think it was hugely expensive. It looks like it's taken a little bit of a battering on this journey. Why are you not clipping back in? There we go. So it just kind of gives us this back, which does theoretically hinge on, but it's only hinged on that one point there. And basically the moment you open and close it, it does kind of fall apart a little bit there. So it's not really something I'm intending to open up dollhouse style very often. And I think we probably need to have a way to join it together on this end as well. But it does stop it being open back. And once we've got it on a nice little base plate as well, it will eventually end up as a nice little thing to have on the beach. But I think for now it's going to go up with the beach house we've already got up there and the Harry Potter house and form part of the little residential mishmash mix of stuff that we've got up there. So we're literally just going to pop it in there for now, which I guess we could probably put the lighthouse and the Ferris wheel in that area as well, because they're both things that are going to end up on the beach eventually as well. I don't know why I've got the hoopty here. That is not something that's ever going to be part of this city. That needs to go home and go on display. But I think we can probably start moving some of these vehicles and definitely need to have a tidy up with all this rubbish. That needs to be leaving with me today. We've got so many boxes that we've used to transport stuff here and then kind of left it here. So I'm going to have a bit of a tidy up and then we're going to move some vehicles. Well, that is as clear as that's going to get today, but that definitely is some progress. We've also got a load of minifigs that need a home in the city, but there's no point putting them in until I finish the pavements, so they can just sit there for now. But we have moved the majority of the vehicles and just kind of scattered them around the city a little bit. Obviously, nothing is permanently posed yet. There's still lots of fine tuning and fiddling that needs to be done. The biggest change is at this end where I decided some kind of arrangement is better than just a random pile on the table. So we've got a bunch of residential and camping stuff at the top and then a bunch of like beachy seaside stuff at the bottom. It's not logical. It's obviously not going to stay there. It's not even on base plates, but it does fill the space a little bit more and just makes things feel a little bit more real and alive. Yes, I realise I have the lighthouse at the highest point in the city, which obviously also doesn't make sense. It will eventually end up down at sea level, either on this table or on this table. But by clearing this area, it does open up the possibility of starting to develop either our beach town or our theme park and Ninjago area or Castle Hill while we wait for stuff to arrive at this end, both in terms of parts, for walls, for roads, new modular buildings, new rebrickables. We've learned, or I've learned over the last few months, that the development of the modular downtown area of the city takes a long time. There's a lot of waiting around for parts to arrive. There's a lot of waiting around for money to arrive because it's so expensive to do that we can't just buy everything we want as soon as we want it. But I do have stuff that's ready to go here and ready to go here. So by just shifting some space around and putting stuff in temporary places, and conceivably that Ferris wheel might be there for a year. I say it's temporary. It's there until I move it, and that goes for all of this stuff. Obviously nothing is permanently positioned, I mean, ever, but as permanent as we need to be, nothing is permanently in place until it is on a mill's plate, next to a road that is finished, near a wall that is finished. So pretty much everything is subject to change at the moment, but just spreading the stuff out a little bit more, it allows us to see it, and it looks cool. I like it. I've got my giraffe back out. I had a box under the table of stuff like that giraffe and the beach houses, which are around somewhere. The beach houses are down there, and the Bricklink snack shack and lots of little bits like that were just under the table. I've pulled out any of them that were in a usable state, taken anything that was on here that needs a significant rebuild, and there is a lot of it. There's trains, there's trucks, there's all sorts of stuff under there that's going to need a big rebuild job at some point, and just got that out of sight and out of mind. And all of the sets that I eventually want to be in the city are now out and about in the city. I need to move those boxes. They're a bit of an eyesore. But yeah, I think that looks infinitely better. And hopefully, in the very near future, we get that Lego pick-a-brick order and we can make a start on more walls, more detailing. But in the meantime, I could bring the loop coaster if I wanted to, or some of the roller coasters I've built at home. I could start putting a beach in. I could start adding another train station. I think this is a mantra that I've lived by for years on everything else that I do. Of done is better than perfect. And for whatever reason, when it comes to this studio and this Lego City, I've been trying to perfect everything as I go. And I've had an epiphany that that's the wrong way to go about it. And let's just get everything in that I own, that I want to be in here. Then we can arrange it, then we can pretty it up, and then we can work out what else we actually need. I think it's going to be cool. So I'm excited about how things are going to progress over the next weeks and months now that we're cooking on gas a little bit. What I am planning on doing in the near future is a proper tour and showing you everything that's in here, and possibly showing the whole collection as well. Let me know in the comments if you think you'd like the whole collection as one video, so both here and everything we've got at home, in the Lego room, in the office, in Anna's room, or two separate videos, one from the city, one from home. I'm open to ideas. Let me know what you think. But for now, I think I'm going to say goodbye because I need to move all of this cardboard out into my car and get to the tip before it closes for the day. So if you have enjoyed this video, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for us. Subscribe to the channel for loads more Lego content. Look what I've learned to do. Thank you very much to our Patreons for supporting the channel. I finally learned how to do that. And thank you very much for watching.